Well, good morning. You'll be pleased to hear it's warmed up a little bit. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get my recorder in my pocket. We're at a mere, I think it's -2, feels like -11 or something like that. There is a bit of a breeze today, excuse the hair. One thing's for certain, being out here is not a fashion show. So today is my final full day. And again, I don't want to go home. I want to stay here. But I've come out for a snowshoe walk, which could be fun. I've never done snowshoeing. I think I've mastered going forwards. Going backwards I'm not quite so good at. So trying to set my tripod up for a shot, I'm having to be very precise as to where I want it because I can't move my feet after that. I'll show you the snowshoes in a while. I'm just walking. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to go for a wander. Sunrise is sort of happening. There's a bit of blue sky up there. The clouds are scudding across. But the sunrise is that away, sort of over the bridge. And there's just a massive blanket of cloud down there. So we're not going to even get any light, which is a bit of a pain. But hey-ho, I don't care. The lights. Oh my God. Insane. Absolutely insane. We were looking at the forecast and it was rubbish and it was rubbish and it was rubbish. And about 11 o'clock we had an alert come through saying the activity is starting to increase. So about 10 o'clock Darren's our guide. They have some working hour limits and sleep hour limits and rest hour limits and all that sort of thing. So he tootled off. And myself and Ryan thought, well, we'll hang about for a bit. We sat in the cotter, had the fire roaring. Oh, it was wonderful. We both sat there checking phones, peering outside. Is anything happening? And about 12 o'clock, it started kicking off. Now, we'd seen a little bit, a glow over the horizon at around about 10:30ish. There are no words. It was insane. It kept going and getting better. We'd got swirls coming overhead. We'd got massive ribbons coming in. There were pillars and you could see them moving up and down. It's so hard to explain just how insanely special it was standing there watching it. We're whooping and jumping and screaming like a pair of kids. It was absolutely phenomenal. We stood at the watchtower and I kept saying, right, I'm going to go down there. It looks like it's died off a bit because I wanted some different shots. No, the second I picked my bag up to walk down, it just kicked off again. So eventually we came down about midnight, had a quick warm up. Sorry, about midnight, about 2 o'clock. Had a bit of a warm up, walked outside the cotter again, and it was still kicking off. And it was coming over the watchtower, it was coming over the cottages, it was coming up over the bridge. And finally, about 2:20, it sort of eased off a bit. So I said, right, I'm going to go to bed. So I went back to the cottage, had a cup of hot chocolate, looked at my phone, and it's like, oh God, it's kicking off again. So about 2:50, I'm stood outside the cottage, and I just got pillars, vertical pillars swooping through the air. Greens and reds. Oh, just phenomenal. So I finally packed in at about 3:30. And by the time I got to bed, it was about 4 o'clock. I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to experience those lights in that shape. So yes, really, really fantastic evening. Right, enough of me blabbering on. Let's have a look at this here photo. I saw this the other night. What I've gone for is the trees coming in from down here. They come in a curve, sort of a curvy pointy curve, and then we disappear up the hill. Now what I wanted was lots of negative space, top and bottom. But if I stand too far back, I'm getting the trees in at the top of this snowy hill. It might just be a little bit of cloning to do. Because we've got a breeze, I've had to up the ISO. I don't like upping the ISO. We're at ISO 640 and I was at 1/3 of a second, f9, and that was timed it when the breeze dropped and we got a sharp image. There's no colour, but that's fine. We're getting a bit of blue sky, so I think I'm going to do that shot again. Although I'm wanting it not overexposed, but very high key. Let's just make sure that's level. I know why it's moved. Oh, hold on a second. I've got a vision in my mind of how I want this to be. Straighten up, you stupid thing. How I want the finished result to be. Sorry, I'm just fiddling with my cameras. That's better. Everything's focused. There we go, 3-second delay. Job's a good one. In fact, that's actually slightly overexposed. Now, I am using, as I say, my histogram a lot more, and I'm pushing it right to the edge of the whites. Just enough to keep a little bit of detail. Yeah, quite happy. That's a little bit of distortion, but nothing that can't be fixed in post. Yes, and that's it. So I'm going to carry on having a mosey. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to actually be able to show you any of the walk. Because I'm still learning how to get used to these snowshoes. But we'll have a go. I haven't got my external mic in, so I apologise if there's any wind noise. There's a little bit of a breeze. For those of you who don't know, snowshoes are designed to increase your footprint. So the wider your footprint, the less likely you are to disappear down a great big hole or disappear into the snow. It's like snowshoes and sand feet that I have for the tripod. It gives you a wider surface area to contact with what's underneath. I'm a little bit cautious because I've not done it before, and I'm also conscious that I'm out on my own, and if I get myself into a position where I can't get up, I'm going to have a problem. I've just been for a little tootle down here, so you can see how big they are. They've got cleaty type things underneath that really grip in, but this is fresh snow, so I'm not sinking anywhere near as much as I would if I was just wearing normal shoes. It's all to do with displacement and things I don't understand. It's a very difficult place to make compositions. The trees are all virtually upright. There's some birch, excuse me, the only problem with being in the cold is those ones. But they're a lot smaller and they're all clumped together really tightly. There's some that would make absolutely beautiful images, but you just can't get enough clearance, enough separation. So, but we're going to keep on trying. I'm still in the little spot where I showed you the snowshoes. Big industrial farmery type thing there. And I'm learning to stand in one place and just keep turning around to see if I can see something. I'm really struggling here because in the background I've got a hill. If it was clear, that would be, you could make compositions out of that. And there's a beautiful, in fact I've just seen that one, that might work even now. I'm using my phone a lot more than I ever have done before to frame up. I'll see something and go, oh well that works. I'm getting my phone out and trying it portrait, trying it landscape, zooming in, zooming out. And that's how I've come up with this composition. I'm not convinced this actually works, but there was just something about it that caught my eye. Now I'm shooting in portrait, so it's going to be a bit difficult to see, to show you. We've got the lines of the track coming in down here, and then we've got this beautiful tree and that one. The problems are this little branch here is overlapping. Now if I move further over there, I lose the distance between these two. As I say, I'm not 100% convinced on that one, but that one up there might work with the big lens. And as usual, I've come out with every piece of lens, every piece of kit that I own. I've done quite a big circle. I've been out for about 4.5 hours. It's hard work with these snowshoes when you're not used to it. Gives your legs a damn good workout. And I've come back to the very start, and that trunk caught my eye. And I've managed to work at least 2, maybe 3 compositions using that. And while I was faffing around, setting one up, Darren drove out, and I just moved the tripod to get out of his way. And then I saw these. Now I know there's 4 of them, so that shouldn't work, because in photography and with art, 3 uneven numbers are better than odd numbers are better than even numbers. But the way they're positioned seems to actually work. But I've been looking for that image, the one image that I could go, oh, I really like that, and I think I found it. Now, I've broken the big guns out for this one. Oops, something just fell out of my pocket. Hold on. Yeah, I've broken the 70-200 out, turned the VR off again. I'm at 200mm, and I'm quite low down with the tripod, because just in there is a building, and I didn't want that in, so by coming low down, I managed to lose that. Shooting at f2.8, concentrating on this tree, using f2.8, that tree stands out beautifully against the background, which is very similar in colours. It's uprights, browns with snow on it, but the f2.8 blurs that, and I love the shape of this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I've framed it so I don't have any sky in, so I'm quite tight in, and I've got this little bit of a lead here, and the light was just catching on that lump there and on the snow on the tree. The light's actually gone off now. Wow, oh, that was wonderful. I'm sorry for the really iffy video, but I'd got it on my camera. It never occurred to me to get my bloody mobile phone out, because I really didn't know which way they were going to go. Absolutely gorgeous. They are so cute. I can see them still heading down there. Oh, that's proper made my day.